Hello and welcome to Frostbytes, a gaming podcast. My name is Spencer. I'm joined by Cassie. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing just dandy.
Nice.
We got a lot of news, a lot of cool new announcements.
A lot of
in
things
the last,
to talk about.
Week.
A lot of things coming up.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess one of them isn't coming until next year. One really big announcement isn't coming until next year.
The biggest thing is we finally heard something from Nintendo, from Pokemon. They actually gave us the directs that, Pokemon Presents and the partner direct showcase thing.
That we weren't sure.
We weren't sure if it was happening or not.
Yeah, at least for the partner showcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Pokemon Day has been a consistent thing. I think since 2016,
I think,
I want to say was the first one.
Yeah.
And they've done it every year on Pokemon Day ever since. But yeah, lots of exciting new announcements. And I mean, it's been 2 weeks since our last episode.
Yeah.
And we're doing an episode.
We're doing another episode
Sooner because we got
stuff to talk about. So why not do it?
We can dive in right away.
Yeah.
I guess since, it's the start of the episode, have you been playing anything lately?
So I pretty much finished up Pokemon Violet. I know.
Bravo.
I think last episode I had completed the Paldea Dex. I have now caught all of 25 of the legendaries. 25?
I think so. It's around
25,
that.
around that, whatever it is.
Yeah. All the Snacksworth.
Yeah, the Snacksworth legendaries. I got
yeah.
those. So I don't know. There's not much else I really feel like I need to do.
Okay. Sorry, do you have any more like shiny hunting targets for Violet?
Yeah, I still want to get a shiny Squirtle and like shiny Umbreon and stuff. But I think I'm ready to move on and try and finish up some more Pokemon games in my backlog.
Cool.
That being said, I'm going to be playing a lot more Emerald lately and have been playing a lot of it. And I also just picked up Heart Gold.
Nice.
So I'm going to be diving into that soon.
Yeah, you've been on a tear. You've been acquiring all of the really good Pokemon games lately.
I find a good deal.
Yeah.
And I know it'll cost me more down the road if I don't hop on it now. So I might make some bad financial decisions, but I get a good deal. So it's worth it if I'm saving money in the long run.
Yeah. I'm really excited to hear about like all of your like experiences with these Pokemon games that you've never played before.
Yeah, I'm excited too because I haven't played a whole lot of them because I just couldn't get them as a kid or whatever. And now part of me is like start from the very beginning and play them all in order. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if my stream wants me to do that or if I just want to do that on my own or whatever. But it'll be fun. Yeah. What about you? What are you playing?
God, what have I been playing? I didn't study for this test.
You've been streaming a lot of Pokemon lately.
Thank you. Yes, I have. Yeah, I started Pokemon Violet on stream. And thank you. I forgot that happened actually.
Yeah.
I did kind of maybe an interesting thing depending on who you are. You can do part 1 of the Scarlet and Violet DLC before you have a single gym badge or
which is crazy.
Whatever in Scarlet Violet. So I did the entire Teal Mask before any of the boss battles in Paldea proper. I got Ogerpon and I found out that the lowest level that you can get Ogerpon at is level 20. That's crazy. So now I'm using Ogerpon on my team of 6 and I've got a bunch of other guys. Started with Sprigatito. I don't know. I mean, the Teal Mask, like when you're trying to do it quickly and go from thing to thing to thing, you kind of just go for like a nice Sunday drive on the back of Miraidon or Koraidon when you don't have any of the power-ups yet. So I really just, when I was going from thing to thing and I couldn't fly there yet, just like sit back, relax, go for a nice stroll.
It's been cool to like watch and see you experience. I mean, obviously you've played through Scarlet in completion, but like getting to see your method of like, and your thought process of playing the game again and like who you're picking and why and the moves you're giving them and what kind of things you're doing has been really cool and interesting. I'm very excited to see who the 6th guy on your team is. I still don't know.
Well, I mean, he's a little bit later in the game, but
Yeah.
not too late. But yeah. So Violet's been fun so far, and doing things a little bit out of order was fun. Otherwise, I just in the past couple of nights, I've been just like looking through my Switch games, and I noticed a good chunk of the games that I own on Switch, I've never played, like not even touched.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, okay, if I can play like at least like an hour or like the opening level of some of these games, just to have, I have like an idea of how they work or what
decide
they are.
If you
want
to continue on with it or anything.
Yeah, I mean, when I bought them, I was excited about them at the time, and there was a reason for that. But I don't know, a lot of them, I think I just want to like have a better sense of what they are and whether or not I should recommend them. And yeah, so it's just been a handful that I've like gone back to and played a little bit more.
Nice.
Or started for the first time, for instance. So might do like a variety episode at some point.
Sweet.
Later in the year.
It's hard. There's so many games and not enough time.
And none of these are games that are like on the backlogs.
Yeah, these are just random games.
These are just random games. Yeah. Like,
there's a bunch of little games that I want to like start getting into. I mean, even just stuff that I think I had Hades on my backlog. I want to start playing that soon. I want to play Eastward. I don't have it yet, but I want to play that. That one looks really good. A lot of things. But I think this year is going to be a good year to catch up on the backlog, which I think we've said before, because it seems it's like pretty slow year for games.
It's certainly a lighter year for Nintendo as far as we can tell.
And apparently a lighter year for PlayStation and Xbox as well. I mean, maybe not Xbox, definitely PlayStation. They recently, I don't know if you heard about this, closed their London studio and laid off 900 people.
That's so many people.
Including some many people. From some of their biggest studios that create their $1 million, like million copies sold games like Spider-Man and The Last of Us and stuff. Like, who knows what's happening over there? But
I know.
And then Microsoft had a thing where they're like dispersing their games to other platforms instead of them being just exclusive on Xbox or Microsoft or whatever. So the gaming industry is a really odd place right now. Yeah,
it's tumultuous. And Nintendo is still kind of just doing their own thing in Japan. And, but they do have, a little bit of a lighter release schedule this year. So first party Nintendo, I think as far as we know right now, it's just Princess Peach Showtime, which is going to come out in March.
Yep.
Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, I don't think they have a release date yet.
No release date yet for that, and no release date yet for Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it for first party Nintendo, at least at the moment.
They're making it seem very obvious that a new console is coming soon.
They're winding down.
Yeah.
But to keep, releases on the Switch going, I guess. I mean, so you mentioned Xbox is diversifying and releasing a bunch of their own games on other systems. So there was a Nintendo partner showcase last week, and a handful of those Xbox games were included in that.
Yeah, it was like 25 minutes long, right?
The partner
showcase. Yeah. And it showed a bunch of like little things that, someone is probably interested.
There's a few that I'm excited about.
Yeah, there's a few things that seem like they're interesting.
Yeah, there's a few like existing games. I think it's hard to sell anybody on like a brand new IP or whatever, but there's a few existing games and remasters and whatever that are coming to Switch that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But to start, I guess, with the Xbox games, the first one that they opened the partner showcase with was Grounded, which is your Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, your little tiny tweens, I think.
Yeah.
In like a backyard, and you gotta like fight some bugs and
is it supposed to be like you're playing like Grounded? Like, you know that like it's like a playground game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if that
is what it's based on.
What it's based on. I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't played on a playground in a long time.
But it looked a little rough on Switch, not gonna lie.
As most things do.
Yeah. But this one in particular looked very PS2-y.
Nothing like a modern console looking like the PS2.
Yeah. And I hate to like, I don't know, just like throw that out there, but this one it looked especially rough is what I'll say. But I mean, at least it's available on the Switch, and that's probably a good thing for Xbox and good thing for Switch owners, maybe who are interested in this one.
It at least gives people the option or the opportunity to try out these games, and then maybe Microsoft's plan is that hopefully they'll be like, this sucks on the Switch, I'm gonna go buy an Xbox.
Yeah. And then the other Xbox game was Pentiment, and you mentioned that you were excited about it.
Yeah,
you were interested in it.
It looked interesting. The art style seems really cool. I've heard a lot of people say that it's like a really good game and that it's pretty funny, and it seems different from a lot of the stuff that I play, but it caught my eye for sure.
I don't know much about it. It appears to be more of a narrative thing for sure. A lot of like, I think your decision making in that game would matter quite a bit. But I've also heard that it takes a bit to get going.
Oh, okay.
But this is all anecdotal, so yeah. I don't know much about that one, unfortunately. It looks interesting though.
It looks interesting. I don't know much about a lot of the games that were on this, to be
on
honest.
the partner showcase.
Yeah.
Well, one that you probably remember from back in the Wii days was Disney's Epic Mickey.
I forgot that was on the showcase.
That's getting a full remake. It's called Epic Mickey Rebrushed.
Crazy.
And I'm actually stoked about this one.
I'm pretty excited about that too. I remember that game. I think I rented it from Blockbuster or something.
Oh my God. I miss renting games every day.
Yeah.
I never played this one as a kid on the Wii, but it was always one. I think my friend had it. I think I watched him play it for a bit one day, and always seemed really cool. The premise of it is you go to this Disneyland, but it's all like the forgotten Disney characters that never really got the limelight that they deserved, and that's such a cool premise.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
so cool. I'm excited for that one. I'll probably try that one out.
Yeah, and it just looks like a really solid 3D platformer.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
A handful of this is for Switch Online. A handful of Rare games are coming. I think they're already out on Switch Online.
Battletoads.
Yeah, Battletoads is out now on Switch Online. So good luck with that one if you decide to play it. It's infamously difficult. Yeah, I don't know. I've never played Battletoads.
Neither have I, but there was this, I don't know if it was everywhere, but I had a friend growing up where there was this prank that we would play on our local EB games. Now GameStop, and would call them and ask if they had Battletoads and then hang up. But that's all I know about it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. What else? There was DLC for Shin Megami Tensei 5, which looked pretty neat. So another game that existed, there's a handful of games that already existed, I guess, that are now coming to Switch. Monster Hunter Stories 1 is one that I'm really excited about, because Stories 2 came out on Switch, but 1 has still kind of been relegated to the 3DS.
Right.
So now it's finally coming to Switch, which is great. That's a fun game if you've played Monster Hunter games before and you're looking for it's more of a turn-based thing, almost Pokemon-esque, where you
interesting.
I don't think you capture monsters. You maybe like tame or befriend the monsters anyway. But there's breeding mechanics to it to get even better monsters, and yeah, really cool. And then it adds some narrative to the Monster Hunter universe, which is neat.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that one for sure. And okay, so there's a Game Freak game that was included. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
It's the what's it called? Something Jockey.
Yeah, Pocket Card Jockey. So this was an eShop.
That's a Game Freak.
This was an eShop exclusive game. It's since come to the App Store, so it's been on mobile for a while now. But it's finally coming to Switch.
And so you're racing horses while playing solitaire at the same time.
It's a horse racing game. So yeah, the gameplay is solitaire, kind of. And then the way that they've format it and present it is through horseback racing.
Why?
And you know, at face value, that doesn't sound like anything. That doesn't sound like the two would go together at all. It's a lot of fun.
Okay,
I play it on my 3DS from time to time.
Nice. Okay.
I don't like. Here's the thing about any of Game Freak's games that aren't Pokemon games is like I don't know that they would get traction or any amount of notoriety if they weren't attached to Game Freak. and they did Pokemon. But like I don't know. I think Pocket Card Jockey is one of Game Freak's better non-Pokemon games, which is weird to say for what the game is, but it's actually got some really good writing.
Okay.
It's pretty tongue-in-cheek. It has some Pokemon references. So there will be other horses that you race against that will sometimes be named after Pokemon.
Oh, cool.
Or Pokemon related things. So there's nods to Pokemon and stuff, which
fun.
is neat. So yeah, I recommend Pocket Card Jockey for sure. Which is I don't know. Take that. Maybe that means I'm too indoctrinated in the Pokemon thing to be recommending.
Just like
Pocket Card Jockey.
you gotta support Game Freak.
You gotta, because obviously they're hurting over there. Yeah, that's a weird one. There's a new Monkey Ball game coming.
I was excited about that.
Yeah,
I used to play a lot of Monkey Ball on the GameCube.
mm-hmm.
That's a good
Super
game.
Monkey Ball Banana Rumble.
Sounds
is
awesome.
The new one. Yeah. Yeah,
it's the same Monkey Ball. Love it.
Yeah, as long as there's no rails,
because
rails are bad for Monkey Ball.
Yeah, the rails are annoying.
And as long as there's no, additional bullshit, it's just keep making solid levels with the same old Monkey Ball physics.
Yeah,
and it should be fine. What else? Oh, okay. This is a game that's been out on PC and other consoles for a while. Another Crab's Treasure.
Oh yeah, that one does look fun.
This one's a Souls-like.
It's a Souls-like, but you play as a crab, and you have to basically collect different homes, like shells to wear
from enemies and bosses and whatever.
And it'll give you more armor or whatever, right?
Yeah. Difficulty wise, I have no sense of whether or not it's as punishing as Souls games or if it's maybe more accessible. I have no clue. But at least functionally, it works kind of the same as Souls games.
So if you die, you got to start over.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Yeah, they might have other systems in there to make it more accessible.
Well,
but,
I mean, it's cute and it seems fun. It seems like it kind of reminds me of at least just the concept kind of reminds me of Octodad. You know that game?
Oh yeah. That one you had to
little
move.
Different.
Yeah,
but, that was it. It's different, mechanics and stuff, but similar. Just this is a weird kind of thing in this. Yeah. In this
I
game
completely
format.
forgot about Octodad.
Oh,
that was during the whole
game.
co-op.
Yes, exactly.
Era,
yeah.
Where just moving a thing was difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Another Crab's Treasure. Such a good title. And then there's this other game that kind of reminds me of Drill Dozer, which is another Game Freak game from the Game Boy Advanced era.
Oh.
Do you remember seeing anything about this game called Pepper Grinder?
No.
No? So you play as this girl, you have a drill, and there will be sections of a level that you can drill through, and it's very fast-paced.
Okay.
It's a 2D platformer. And it looks like you can do a lot of pretty smooth, almost combos through the air.
Interesting.
You kind of drill through enemies and drill through mountains and whatever. Looks like a cool, interesting 3D platformer. One that released the day of the presents was Penny's Big Breakaway. That's another 3D platformer developed by the Sonic
Is that the
Mania.
yo-yo one?
Yeah.
The yo-yo
She kind of rides on top of a yo-yo, I think.
That one did look cool. That one looked really fun.
Yeah, really colorful. Really great main character design. The enemies are penguins, which any amount of violence against penguins, I'm obviously going to be against.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, this looked relatively harmless.
Yeah.
But yeah, Penny's Big Breakaway. This was one that they showed in a direct sometime last year, I think, and then it just released last week.
Cool.
And yeah, it looks like a really solid 3D platformer.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Suika. Have you played Suika Game?
No, but there's a new DLC for it, right?
Yeah.
which is it. Like I've seen the game.
Mhm.
I know the concept of it, and
Mhm.
it seems fun.
Yeah,
I didn't know it would need DLC,
um
but it adds multiplayer.
it
Doesn't
adds multiplayer. Here's the thing. I got it, and Mo also got it.
Yeah.
Both of us thinking that the multiplayer would allow us locally to play and see our own, I don't know, a puzzle on our own screens.
Mm-hmm.
But like they added 3 new multiplayer modes, just being standard basically, where you just play side by side.
Yeah.
A time attack where you just try to get the highest score as high as you can, and a battle mode where every time you combine fruit, it adds fruit to the enemy's side and makes it more difficult for them. Anyway, that is all on the same system for this first part of this DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're hoping that this 2-player DLC is going to, like, if you and whoever you're looking to play Squeaky Game with each get it on your Switch, they will add online multiplayer later to the existing DLC. So there's not like another DLC that you have to buy, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But at least at the moment, it's only local on the same
system
multiplayer, which I either didn't realize, or maybe they didn't do a very good job of like specifying. But anyway,
that's annoying.
It was only like $3. So, you know, if you're still playing Squeaky Game, and it's a pretty chill puzzle game, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And you're, it's a nice way. Mo, I think, is still playing that one.
Nice.
So that was one that we were excited to get to see who could be better at matching fruit.
Nice.
And the last game that I'll mention, and the one that they ended the partner showcase on, which was a weird, you know how like any sort of presentation like this where they're like, we have one more thing, and you sort of expect it to have,
it's going to be a big announcement.
It's going to be something kind of substantial, and maybe I don't know, I'm just not into this, I guess.
Is this a Unicorn Overlord thing?
Oh, no, but that is a really good game that has a demo available. And if you like Fire Emblem, then you should try Unicorn Overlord. That's all I'll say about that. But the game that they ended, thank you for mentioning that.
Yep,
the game that they ended
that.
the partner showcase on is this game called Endless Ocean Luminous.
Oh, right.
And this just looks like a chill underwater exploration game.
Mm-hmm.
There's no enemies. There's no combat. There's just, you get to swim underwater. That's it.
Here's the thing. Why is it coming out on Switch? Because like, I feel like with this kind of game, you want it to look nice, because that's all you can do is look at it.
That's the point.
That's the point. But if you're playing on a 720p Switch that runs at maybe 30 FPS, not that the FPS really makes a huge difference, but like, things don't typically look beautiful on this system. Why have a game like that coming out on this system?
And it was such a weird one for them to end the partner showcase on.
Yeah, super
that's I don't know. I don't know. I felt like there were other games in this showcase that they could have ended on that I don't know. And maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe other folks are really excited about this. You can dive underwater with a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah, it wasn't like up to like 18 or...
It was a pretty hefty number, yeah. I don't remember
so there's
the exact
online.
number,
it'll be interesting to see what the performance is like of that game.
Yeah. I mean, well, frankly, I don't think I'm ever going to check back in with this game.
No, I don't honestly, like, some of the games from this partner showcase seemed kind of cool, but I got enough games, I'm probably not going to check any out.
It's true. It is a lighter year for new releases. So if you're kind of like caught up on everything, then there's a good amount of stuff in here, and there's stuff on
there's
the way.
things you can try if you're looking for games to play.
But I think this is, at least for us, this is a good year to catch up on our backlogs.
It's a backlog year.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, if you like underwater diving, and I mean, if you're looking for just like a chill, maybe super chill game with your pals, Endless Ocean Luminous.
Wow.
Give it a try.
All right.
But that, I think...
That wraps up the partner showcase.
Yeah, there's a handful of others, but I think I hit all the highlights. Try to do it relatively quick.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like for the most part, there's a couple things that were okay, but it wasn't the most exciting showcase.
Battlefront Collection. That was another one that was in the partner showcase.
Oh, yeah, right.
Do you care about that?
Like, no, not really.
Oh, okay.
Like, I love Battlefront.
Yeah.
Battlefront 2, I've played so much of.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to play it on the Switch? No.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. But I mean, some people are, especially like, it's gonna look bad. Like, talk about PS2 graphics. Like, yeah, it's just not gonna look great. But you know, I think for the most part, sure, people are excited, so it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
A little blast of nostalgia for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. I think I remembered everything. And again, there was a list there on the Nintendo website.
On the Nintendo website,
but then it didn't include Battlefront, for instance. So I
that's
don't know.
weird.
I don't know how
That's
they decide.
strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's that. So, what day was the direct? The direct was
last
Thursday, Wednesday. I don't know what day it was.
Yeah, just last week.
Some day last week.
Yeah.
It's now 2 days after the Pokemon Presents. It's the Leap Day.
It is. Oh yeah, we're doing this on the Leap Day.
On the Leap Day.
I forgot about that.
Year only happens once every, or this day only happens once every 4 years.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're after the Pokemon Presents. What are your thoughts? How do you feel?
Oh boy. Just like generally, without getting into.
Generally, yeah, we'll get into it, of course.
I mentioned I was streaming the day after the Presents, and I mentioned that I felt like I went through like the 5 stages of grief, all within 24 hours after the Presents. Where initially I was pretty disappointed, and then I was like angry because I was like, it doesn't make sense that we didn't get one thing in particular. But then I started to get excited about the premise of the really big announcement. So I think I'm overall excited. But still a little disappointed.
Yeah, I think that's the general consensus that people are like, well, we got a good thing or two. Like there's for me at least, there's 2 things that were really cool. But it would have been cool if there was like one more, you know?
Yeah, and it seemed like the one more felt pretty obvious to me. And I'm still surprised. And I don't know, maybe later this year they just put them out. So what if you haven't seen the Pokemon Presents? First, they opened the show with all of the regular suspects, right?
Yeah.
All of the live service games.
Cafe Remix.
Go, Sleep, Unite, Masters EX, all of them, right? And I think they kind of know that like we really only want to get to the good part.
And they went through it really fast.
Super fast, which I really appreciated.
Yeah,
it
was good.
The whole Presents was like 12 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yep.
Very quick. So I appreciated it actually that all of the live service games were like 30 seconds each. And the gist of all of them is like they all pretty much have some sort of login bonus right now, or a code that you can put in to get a thing, or it's a special anniversary guy with a hat.
Yep.
So exciting.
But gotta get the guys with the hats.
Yeah. But then the big 2 announcements. The first one was the Pokemon trading card game Pocket.
Yep, TCG Pocket. That seems like it's going to be super fun. I'm excited about it.
You're excited about it?
Yeah, I feel like you know, depending on how it is. If it's like Marvel Snap,
okay,
I feel like that could be cool.
Yep.
Fast paced, can kind of play TCG, but mostly about like opening cool cards.
Right.
You get 2 free packs a day.
You get 2 free packs a day.
Which is nice. So then, you know, there's not, I mean, I'm sure they'll entice you to buy or something at some point.
For sure.
But like, you know, everyone can still have a chance to play it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll see how it actually plays. But I'm excited for it because I mean, like, I don't allow myself to buy Pokemon cards.
Right.
Because I already spend my money on too many other things.
Right. But this will be a good excuse to give you that hit, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get to feel like I'm part of it.
Right.
Because it's always something that I'm like, oh, I wish I did that. But like, I just know if I start.
Yeah. It's a slippery
slope.
slope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I won't even let myself get into it.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I'm glad I don't do Pokemon cards anymore, because just looking at, like, I can rationalize buying a video game so much more
Exactly.
because it's like a thing that I have and can use. And you can do that with cards, but they're so much more fleeting, and like one, maybe two cards in a pack. And packs now are like they've put more cards in packs.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, but yeah, it's just not. It's so much money for what they are.
And like the excitement that you get from getting a good card is like seconds.
Yeah,
and then it's
you get
gone.
like a rush of dopamine. And
I remember I got my nephew Pokemon cards for Christmas one year because they had a box set on sale or something. And then he opened them all right away. I know he's watching. This is no offense to you, David. But opened them all right away, and then it was just over.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that was really disappointing.
Yeah. And I mean, the experience of it can go beyond that, where like if you maintain a collection, part of it is putting them all away in a binder. If you play the game, obviously, part of that is using the cards in the game. But like in a new set, let's say there's 200 cards in a set, maybe 15 to 20 of those cards in a brand new set are actually good and usable when you're playing the game. Obviously, every card in the set you can use,
right?
But like for anyone who's like trying, right? Like there's a meta to the card game, and such a small percentage of a new set ends up being worth it in that aspect. Maybe one card per pack, if you're lucky, will be something that you can use in a deck legitimately. So it'll be interesting to see for the playing aspect of this. It'll be interesting. I'm interested to see, because I play the card game.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they've made it faster. And because they said that they've taken the existing Pokemon card game format and quickened it for the sake of mobile purposes, so you can get quicker bite-sized games and a bunch of other. So Marvel Snap, you mentioned, that's a very quick.
Yep.
You can play a game of Marvel Snap in 2 minutes.
Yep.
Yu-Gi-Oh did something a few years ago. I think it's called Speed Duel, but it's very similar. It just takes the basic idea of Yu-Gi-Oh, but much faster duels. So now Pokemon's kind of doing a similar thing where like, okay, our card game, sometimes games can take 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you lose, that sucks.
Yeah,
right?
It's a waste of time.
Yeah, it's a long time to just lose. And so, yeah, I think quickening the game is a good thing. I'm just interested to see exactly how they go about doing it.
Yeah.
But I think the coolest part, and the thing that most people are going to be into this for, is obviously just the collection, the ability to trade in it just from the get-go.
The trading is cool.
Seems good. And then one of the coolest things that they showed with the trading card game Pocket is some of the cards. Yeah, you'll actually be able to like go into the artwork and like explore within the artwork of the card.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like what the format is of that. Like, is it going to be like a video that you watch, or is it going to be like an actual immersive thing where you can like, pinch your fingers and like zoom in, zoom out, and like
where it's more interactive,
scroll around and stuff? Like, how much of it are they going to build out for you to actually dive into?
Yeah. I have a feeling it might just be a video, at least just from the one instance that they showed in the trailer.
Yeah.
It seemed like a pretty, I don't know, choreographed like camera line through a scene.
Yeah.
But
unless there's like an animation at first, and then it lets you.
And then it lets you go from thing to thing. Yeah.
We'll see what happens with it. It said releasing 2024. We don't have an actual date yet.
At some point this year.
But some point this year, that's going to come.
Yeah.
It's probably going to, I mean, the cards are already very popular right now. Especially like people are just trying to make money off of them. That's another reason why I don't really like them right now is people aren't collecting them to collect cool cards necessarily. They're collecting them so they can sell them because they know cards are worth something.
Yeah.
I don't know what decides they're worth, but something does. So
yeah. Part of that.
I'm sure there is a whole reason to it and I just don't understand, but it's just from what I see from the outsider perspective, people are just trying to make money off of it.
Yeah.
Which Pokemon is too. So fair. But
people, I mean, their whole livelihood is just reselling cards, which is wild.
Yeah. It's not a new thing, but
no,
like it's definitely, I don't know. I feel like it's gotten a lot more popular of just like, flipping through a deck to find a good card so that you can resell it.
Yeah.
Which is a little sad, but
with the trading card game Pocket, the big two for me, I think, are seeing how the game functions, seeing how they've made it faster.
Mhm.
And then also, I think the immersive cards and seeing the other cards that work for it, I think is going to be cool.
Yeah, I'm
And then
excited for that.
I think the 2 free packs a day, that's actually pretty, not generous, but like better than I was expecting. I thought it might be like 1 pack a day.
Who
if
knows?
that.
Maybe, there'll be something behind that. Like, a lot of times it's like, wait 15 minutes to get another pack or
Right.
something. Like, maybe there'll be something like that. But hopefully it's just like, once midnight rolls around, you can get 2 free packs again or something. And hopefully it'll be like that.
So I think overall, pretty cool.
Yeah.
With the trading card game Pocket. And then they hit us with the big one.
Finally. This was like the only really like mainline game thing that was talked about. Everything else seems to be like mobile or silly little things that people still play, but not as popular. A new Legends game is coming in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Legends Z to A? ZA?
Legends,
ZA?
Legends ZA. Yeah. Weird title. Not stoked on the title.
Why didn't they just call it Legends Zygarde?
Legends Zygarde would have been perfectly
I
fine.
think that sounds
Even just
great.
like Legends Z, Legends Z.
Yeah.
The ZA is confusing. I'm sure it will all make sense once the game comes out. And
Hopefully.
we understand the significance of the A. But
Currently.
we really just know what the Z is, and the A is a mystery.
The A is something.
That's it's kind of cool that like the imagination runs wild. What could the A mean? But
Excited for this though. It's based in Lumos City?
Lumios.
Lumios.
Yeah.
Lumios City, which is Gen 6.
Yep.
X and Y.
Yep.
So we're going back to Gen 6. Weird turn, like Legends Arceus was Gen 4. Now this one is Gen 6. Seems to be not really a pattern to these games. But I'm excited for it because I really enjoyed that generation.
Yeah. I think generally, most people, if it was going to be a Legends game, most people were expecting either, myself included, either Legends Celebi or Legends Johto, or Legends Kyurem or Legends Unova.
Right.
Either of those seemed like they would have made sense as far as like an order or a pattern is concerned with the Pokemon Company.
I don't understand where Johto would go for that pattern.
The idea being that like they've remade Kanto with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Yeah.
So with that thinking, Johto could be next.
That makes sense.
And then maybe sometime during Generation 10, they would do Legends Kyurem, and then also do like the Gen 5 remake if they did something similar to what they did with BDSP and Legends Arceus.
Yes.
So this was just like purely based on like pattern and sort of what they've done before. So it was a complete shock. And people it's not like no one was thinking it could be Legends Zygarde. It just like was less. It seemed less
likely, but now looking back, it seems more obvious.
Hindsight's 2020, but like what makes you say that?
So first thing, this isn't as big of a thing, but like in Scarlet and Violet, there's an area on the map that is like grayed out.
Grayed out, right.
And people thought initially that was going to be where the DLC was, but it wasn't. I've been told and have heard from a few people that is Kalos because it's France attached to Spain, yada yada, whatever.
Yeah.
The other thing, we got 25 legendaries in the game, no Gen 6.
Right. No Xerneas, no Yveltal, no Zygarde.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Every other one is there, right?
It's so funny. Like after the thing comes out and you put everything together, you're like, wow, the signs actually were there all along.
Yeah. Those are the only things that I really think.
No, but I mean, I think the legendary thing, especially, because why would they omit those?
Yeah, because Slogoleo and Lunala were there.
Yeah. Most of the legendaries.
Most of them were there.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense besides, that.
Yeah.
Really.
So the teaser that they showed for Legends ZA It shows kind of blueprints.
Urban development plan.
Yeah, it shows like a file for it says urban development plan for Lumiose City.
Except that Lumiose is like covered at
the
first.
very beginning. Yeah, Lumiose is kind of redacted,
Yeah.
but then at the end of
They take it
because I think there was this big reveal because like Lumiose has this basically Eiffel Tower equivalent.
Mhm.
That's I think just Lumiose Tower.
Yeah.
And that was a big reveal in the trailer, and I was like, as I was watching it, there's a lot of fuss. So initially they show kind of like sketches of like an urban city, and then it kind of transitions into this sort of futuristic.
Yeah, it's like
almost
the
Tron
lines
thing.
become like neon, kind of like blue,
kind of like a blueprint.
Yeah, but like a blueprint, but also like looks like it's from
looked
Tron.
a little futuristic, and so at first I was like, oh, they're going into the future. Cool.
I don't think so.
No. I don't think so either now. But at least initially, I was like, oh my God, they're actually going into the future.
Yeah.
And so the camera follows Pikachu running around this city, and it looks vaguely, I don't know, it just looks like it didn't click for me initially that it was Lumiose
until you saw the tower.
Well, I think I saw there's an Aegislash fighting a Sylveon at one point, or like a silhouette of these Pokemon. Yeah. And then I see the camera spins and does like kind of a flyby, and then I see Lumiose Tower, and then my brain short circuited. I was like, no shot, this is I was like, this is Lumiose. This is Lumiose.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? And then it zooms out, and then it gives this like
circle,
overhead view of the entire city, and then boom, Pokemon Legends ZA, and I lost my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, no,
I watched it. I watched
fucking
you lost
way.
my mind.
So I don't know if because you played Pokemon Y back in the day.
I did.
Yeah. Do you want to give a little history about that game for you?
Yeah, I mean, I played it in high school. It was the first Pokemon game that I completed the story in.
Nice.
I have a lot of fond memories with that game. And then I sold my 3DS with that game, but I transferred all my Pokemon beforehand.
So all those guys are still safe.
I have all of them.
Nice.
And I was looking in Pokemon Home the other day, and my Zygarde's in there. And I was just like, this boy's going to come out soon.
Yeah. And that Zygarde by now would be like 11 years old.
Yeah. My 11-year-old Zygarde.
Yeah. I love
so
that.
I'm excited to go back. Like, I haven't played that game since I initially played it in high school.
Right. Are you going to play X and Y before ZA comes out, do you think?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I have another copy of Y now.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to play it again.
Nice.
Before then.
To re-experience Kalos.
Yeah.
For the first time in like a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, I have, there's a lot of memories in my brain from that game.
Yeah, me too. I think especially for us, that was during high school.
Yeah.
And yeah, I spent a lot of time in Pokemon Y. That was the first game that I completed a living dex in. That's really the only generation I ever got invested into competitive battling. I was doing a lot of like Smogon OU singles. Actually did a bunch of breeding and competitive battling in the games themselves.
Yeah.
In Pokemon Y, and then also in Alpha Sapphire during Gen 6. Yeah, super nostalgic by now, actually, for Pokemon Y.
Yeah, which is interesting because, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. And then you realize...
That was a whole decade.
It was a whole decade ago. We don't need to talk about that anymore than that.
Yeah, no, okay, sorry.
No,
true.
we can, but like, I was in high school 10 years ago. Gross.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Pokemon X and Y in recent years on the internet, sort of within the Pokemon community, were kind of at the bottom of a lot of people's lists. And then last year they turned 10.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people did like retrospectives or whatever on YouTube. And then the classic thing is currently happening for Gen 6, and Pokemon Legends ZA, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Is kind of helping the transition where like the common thought or like the consensus is shifting for X and Y, where
100%.
people are like, actually, I love those games. And the same thing happened for Gen 5 a few years ago, where everyone was like, actually, I'm nostalgic and love those games. So eventually, check back in 3 to 4 years from now when everyone's like, oh, I love Sun and Moon.
Well, we'll see if that happens.
I bet it will. That's my hunch, but I bet it will. But yeah, ZA, just from the teaser, just from the title, like, what are you thinking?
I have no idea. I mean, it seems like it's going to be similar to Arceus.
Mhm.
Arceus.
Mhm.
I still never
Wow,
know.
doesn't
Whatever. They're the same thing.
Same thing.
Where they're back in time. I've heard that maybe like with the way the blueprints and like the sketches kind of look, maybe it's like 1870s, like late 1800s kind of.
Sure.
Maybe.
So not as far back as
Not as far
Arceus.
back as Arceus.
Right.
A
A little more technology,
yeah,
a little more understanding of what
something
Pokemon are.
like that.
Mhm.
And then, I don't know if it's going to be like, because, in X and Y, there was like that whole war kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
And like something about the Zygarde thing that it was like 3,000 years ago or whatever. Like my thoughts are either like it's going to be about that
Mhm.
or it's going to be like random in 1800s. And like, I don't know, AZ was a character in the game. I wonder if like he's going to be in this at
Mhm.
all.
I think he will be
related.
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know to what
How?
extent.
Yeah.
So yeah, AZ. Okay, so
There's a lot of random thoughts there.
it's all good.
There's little
But
pieces of like, I don't know what this is going to be.
Yeah, but the X and Y did this really interesting thing where during the story of those games, they were like, hey, there was this crazy war 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And this crazy dude shot off this ultimate weapon
Mhm.
to try to like annihilate everything. And it made his precious Floette sad about it. And then the Floette left. And that's a whole thing. And then, this same guy 3,000 years later to the current day is just like wearing a beanie and a trench coat and jeans. And he just like randomly throughout the story meets up with you, the character, you, the
Mhm.
player. And then at the very end, in the credit spoilers for X and Y, the very end, he shows up and his flower returns and there's a whole, he like drops to his knees. And so this character, his name is AZ.
Mhm.
He is definitely showing up in Legend ZA.
ZA? Yeah, of course.
I just don't know.
like, is he going to be like a kid?
He could,
or like,
no. I think because he's allegedly, I don't know
Right.
fucking how. It's
Yeah,
magic, I guess.
3,000
He's
years old.
allegedly 3,000 years old. So
Right.
I guess in this game, he's going to
Some
be
sort of, like,
2,900.
time
Or
travel
something.
thing going on
Some
again.
sort of something is
still?
going
Yeah, I
to
don't
take
know.
place for sure. I think maybe AZ might be your professor or companion or something in this game.
Okay.
And then I think something happens where
He fucks up.
something
Yeah.
happens. Maybe I think this might be like they might do like this is all just conjecture.
Yeah.
They might do like this guy is your friend for the entire game and then he's a bad guy the whole time. I think maybe he is the role of like the professor
Mm-hmm.
until the very end.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I
Just,
mean,
just a hunch.
no spoilers for Arceus. That kind of happened in that game.
With Volo?
Yeah.
True. Where Volo was like a merchant.
Volo was merchant.
Yeah.
And then
But I think maybe with AZ they might make him even closer
closer to you.
And then, yeah. But yeah, that's true. The Volo twist.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big one.
Yep. I haven't fought Volo yet. I still got to finish that battle.
It's a big fight.
It's a hard fight. It's a hard fight.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, like for Pokedex purposes, this game being in Kalos again, a big
we'll
thing.
have access to all of those Pokemon again, which haven't been in a lot of. Well, at least some of them haven't been in the more modern generations.
Mhm. The only Gen 6 Pokemon that hasn't been in any of the Switch games is Furfrou,
Right.
which is this dog that can have different
Hats.
forms, which are called trims,
Right.
depending on. Well, within X and Y and the Sun and Moon games, you would just go to a dog parlor
Mm-hmm.
and give it a trim.
Yeah.
In Pokemon Go, you can catch different Furfrou trims in different parts of the world.
Right.
And there's like specific ones that you can only get in Egypt or only get in France, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to like really fully 100% complete a Pokedex, you're going to have to buy a plane ticket to Egypt and France. I'm not going to do that anytime soon.
Yeah.
So this game is going to be a godsend for all of us completionists who are trying to fully complete our Pokedexes, because now ideally all of
Have
the fur fruit
access to
trims
all
are
the
going to
trims.
be in this game, thank God.
Mhm.
I'm hoping they do something similar as well with the Pokemon Vivian.
Right.
That's like a butterfly Pokemon. It can have
It has
different
different wings.
patterns on
Yeah.
its wings. There's like 20 something Vivians, I think, total, maybe a little less. I don't know.
That's so many.
There's a good amount of Vivian patterns that exist.
Mhm.
And they're also kind of like regional based, but more for like the game that you like where you are in the, not like actually, how do I explain this? If you today
Mhm.
started a file of Pokemon Y and you set your 3DS's region and language to be in Spain,
Yeah.
for instance,
Mhm.
then your Vivian pattern would be in Spain. You physically don't have to be in Spain,
Right.
but your 3DS is like,
It's in Spain.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. I know,
Anyway,
it
so
makes
if
sense.
you really wanted to, you could go through and you can change your region settings and do it like 20 times and get all the patterns. I hope that they make Vivian in Legends ZA. You can get all of the patterns in a single save.
Mhm.
That would be so nice. But I bet they'll probably do the regional thing again,
Right.
because it did kind of give a good or an interesting thing to trading.
Mhm.
And again, depending on where you were in the real world, your pattern could be more valuable. So like people in Hawaii had an exclusive pattern,
Right.
and that ended up like they were able to trade that pattern for legendaries and shinies. We would trade that pattern we would trade our pattern, the one
Yeah.
that's in Canada, for Bidoof. So just the different value.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Anyway.
Fair enough.
And then the big one, the big returning thing, and they showed the logo for it at the very end of the presents. Megas are coming back.
That's so exciting.
That's crazy. I thought they never would, to be honest with you.
Well, because they were pretty broken, right? Like, if you didn't have a Pokemon with Mega Evolution, then, like, you were just kind of fucked.
Like,
in, like,
in your
competitive,
party?
Competitive scene, I
Yeah.
feel like.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much everyone competitively, like, was using at least one mega. I mean, you could
Mhm.
only use one mega on your
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just at a disadvantage if you weren't
Mhm.
using a mega for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mega Evolution as a concept, as an idea, has been one of
So cool.
the community's like most favorite gimmicks
Mhm.
to the series. And it was sad when they weren't brought back in Generation 8. They were in Gen 6 and 7, and then they were gone. And then I thought, honestly, they were just going to be a relic of the past.
Yep.
I thought they were going to be like a limited gimmick, because they'd been doing that from game to game. Gen 6 was Megas, Gen 7 was Z Crystals, Gen
Mhm.
8 was Dynamax, now Gen 9 is Terrestrialization.
Yep.
So it is kind of cool that like the gimmick for the region is coming back, which
Maybe
I
we'll
guess
get
makes
to
sense.
see
It
a
would be
bit
sad
more
if it
from
wasn't
it.
coming back.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see just like, how the Mega Evolution exists more, and just like
Yep.
more of the story behind it.
Yep.
And
Probably get more history on it,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm excited for it to be back.
Something I'm curious about is whether or not they introduce new megas,
Mhm.
because if like obviously this is taking place in the past, and if there were megas in the past, why don't they exist in the future and during the events of X and Y?
Right.
But like they've done shit like that before, where they just like they retcon Jigglypuff to be fairy type. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So if part of me is like, well, why wasn't this? But then if you just turn your brain off and let it happen, then it doesn't matter.
Well, I know a lot of people were upset that there wasn't a Mega Flygon, because
yeah.
there was supposed to be,
Yes.
and then
Yeah. Do you know the story about that?
Well, then weren't they just like, I can't come up with the good designs.
Yeah. So one of Pokemon's lead designers, Ken Sugimori, tried and tried again, and just wasn't happy with anything that he came up with. So they just maybe they'll take another crack at Mega Flygon. But I think it's exciting to see what Pokemon they could give a Mega to.
Mhm.
I think it would be great to see Megas for each of the Kalos starters: Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It was weird that in the Kalos region, none of the Kalos Pokemon had a Mega.
Mhm.
So I hope that they give the starters Mega, and then a handful of other Kalos Pokemon a Mega.
I'll be
Would
interested to
great.
see like who the starters are of the game, because in Arceus they weren't Gen 4 starters.
No, you could catch the Gen 4 starters in the Hisui region.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for Arceus, they chose Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so with Kalos being in France and kind of having like a royalty sort of theme
Mm-hmm.
throughout, currently the thinking is they're going to do Piplup
Mm-hmm.
because Empoleon is an emperor penguin. Snivy, Superior is like a royal. I don't remember the exact, but Superior is a royal thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the fire type, there isn't really. Charizard is Game Freak royalty, but like otherwise,
just do Fennekin.
Well, I think you'll just be able to catch the Kalos starters.
Yeah, probably will.
So I don't know. It could be like Score Bunny. Who knows?
That'd be weird.
But yeah. It's obviously it's not going to be Cyndaquil.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be any Pokemon that has a Mega, or any starter Pokemon that has a Mega. So the Kanto starters all get Megas. The Hoenn starters, they all got Megas. So yeah, I would be leaning towards Snivy, Score Bunny, and Piplup.
Interesting. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it's there's a lot to theorize and sort of let the imagination run wild.
We
about these
have
things now.
an entire year.
Yeah. And then the fact that it's releasing in 2025 is so exciting.
They're actually maybe taking their time with it. They're not rushing it.
They're not trying to push something out for the holiday this year.
Or the other thought.
The cynical thought.
is they have to wait for a Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we didn't... I mean, typically your announcement thing, you're not necessarily going to see any gameplay anyways, but we didn't see any gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it looks wild. Maybe. Because maybe it's Switch 2 hardware that they're, developing it on.
Yep. It's confirmed it's releasing on Switch?
Yes.
But will it be a cross-gen?
It said there was a Nintendo Switch logo, but, from what things might be happening,
right?
Maybe Nintendo Switch is just like what it is now,
right?
But then like it's actually like coming out on the Switch 2, or maybe it's cross.
Yeah, it could be cross.
But then it's like, is the performance is it going to be a good game if it's able to be played on both? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's such a weird time.
Yeah. Weird time for gaming right now.
Weird time for gaming. Yeah.
But we're still hanging in, still enjoying it. It's weird because like me last year or something, I would have been like, there's no games to play, even though I still didn't finish any of the games I already had. But like last year I was like consistently looking to buy new games and like trying to get the newest thing all the time. And now I'm just like, I just want to play Pokemon Emerald and all the old ones and not have any new games I have to buy.
Yeah.
Until 2025.
Yeah. We'll take this year
Give
off.
me a new Switch and then I'll buy more games.
Yeah.
That's mostly it.
Yeah.
But that was the Pokemon Presents.
Yeah, I think we covered everything.
I think so.
I was trying to remember if there's anything else about Legends ZA.
Well, not necessarily Legends ZA, but in Scarlet and Violet right now.
Oh, yes.
There are Terra Raids. Mightiest Mark Terra Raids, right? With this week is Venusaur. And then next will be Blastoise and Charizard. I don't know if it's in that order, but whatever.
I think it's in that order, yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So those are 7-star raids.
Yep.
Big, tough.
And something interesting, I guess, that they're doing with these raids that they've never done with the 7-star raids before is these raids you can actually get Herba Mystica.
Yeah, isn't it like a 3% chance of getting all of them or something?
Yeah, you can get any of them from doing these raids. And so these are actually,
today.
If you wanted to farm Herba Mystica, these are actually pretty good raids to do that with because the rates are higher for Herba Mystica now.
I need more Herba Mystica.
So yeah, if you want to make more shiny sandwiches, then these are good raids to do. And I think a lot of people online are pretty consistently beating the ground type Venusaur. So you can hop on there. And what did you use for the Venusaur?
So for the Venusaur, well, back in September, I think it was after our first episode we filmed, you helped me do the Mewtwo raid and built me a nice little Mew that was a support Mew. And I used that. I used the support Mew. It still works.
Nice.
I just kind of threw a light screen up and then life do the rest of the time and just healed everyone. I think I died once, but it was fine. We got it.
Yeah. Nice.
And there's just like one chestnut or whatever that was just spamming seed bomb, and I just kept healing them. And I think there was a couple. I think everyone else was support. I think it was just the one guy that was doing damage.
Guy doing damage.
So.
That's funny.
Yeah. But that's who I did. What did you do again?
I used a Corviknight.
Yeah. There's a Corviknight on my team. Yeah.
It resists or is immune to everything that the Venusaur can do. It doesn't really do damage. So it's great for support because you won't die and you won't risk, hurting the timer.
The time, yeah.
But you definitely need someone else doing damage like a chestnut, for instance. So you certainly, I don't think you could solo with Corviknight.
No. I did it online and I was just like, I'm just going to rely on other people to do it.
Yeah, but even if you have two people, one of you support, one of you's chestnut probably.
Yeah.
I think the chestnut build is really good, so I might go
Austin
for that.
John made a video on that chestnut build, and it's definitely very popular and seems to be working.
Yeah. I mean, it's very effective.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what the other ones look like.
Yeah, I don't actually know what Terra type the Blastoise is, but the Charizard is a rerun, I guess, of the Dragon Terra Charizard. That was the very first Terra raid at the very beginning of Scarlet and Violet back in December 2022.
Yeah, I don't.
So they're making
that one.
Well, it's good now that they're making that Charizard available again for folks. And I'm wondering if they do like a run back of every Terra raid since. For anyone who missed them the first time, if they do them all again, now that Scarlet and Violet are out and finished and they're kind of like twilighting a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it for Pokemon. I mean, if you play any of the live service games, there's a lot going on in those games. Like,
there is.
There's new characters in Unite that you can use, and there's login bonuses and codes that you can use in a bunch of the other games. And then there's these Terra raids in Scarlet and Violet. And
not game related, but the new show Horizons comes out next week.
Nice, yeah.
Which is the first show
without Ash. Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, I know.
First mainline show without Ash.
Yeah, there was a spinoff once, I think, without him. But I still find it actually really hard to believe that they actually retired Ash. And I wonder if maybe he'll come back at some point, but it's
maybe he'll actually age. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
He was stuck in this loop being 10 years old.
He's 10 years old forever, and now, maybe they will.
Who knows?
That'll be interesting to see.
Since 98, he was 10.
He's the oldest 10-year-old I know.
Yep.
Anything new in Fortnite?
There's a new season starting soon. I think next week. Honestly, I've been so deep into Pokemon. I have not really played it. Lady Gaga is in Fortnite now.
Okay.
As like a skin in Fortnite, and like because the Fortnite festival stuff,
the
new season
you
of
can
those.
play as Lady Gaga.
So yeah, like your character can be Lady Gaga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's Lady Gaga songs.
They've done like concerts and stuff in Fortnite before, so I thought you meant that.
Yeah, no, but like she has a skin you can buy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, pretty crazy. And there was this whole thing where Kesha was just like, I've never played a video game in my life, and then played it because Lady Gaga was in it.
Just played Fortnite?
Yeah.
Just so Kesha could be Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
That's iconic.
Yeah. And then there was some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. I think that's probably done now. But yeah, I honestly, I haven't been up to date with it. I want to play more of it, but it's only so much time in a day.
Yeah.
And I got to pick one video game to play each day, pretty much.
And you're very Emerald focused right now.
Yeah, I'm about to do the 4th gym.
Nice.
Yep.
Sweet.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think we did it.
Sweet.
I think we covered all the new announcements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for doing this.
Always doing the podcast.
Always a pleasure.
So fun.
So fun.
So fun. We'll be doing more of this soon. We'll see what we have coming up next. Maybe in 2 weeks.
Maybe.
Who knows?
You'll have to stay tuned. Where can people stay tuned, Cassie?
Well, funny enough, you can
Sorry.
You can listen to our podcast anywhere that podcasts are. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We also put the video up on YouTube because we stream this live on my Twitch channel,
Mhm.
twitch.tv/just_Kyashi, Kyashi. That's how you spell that. And yeah, we also have an Instagram that is blank right now, but we've got things cooking.
Got things cooking. Folks. Things are in the
We
oven.
will throw them up on TikTok too.
Yeah.
And
We're going to be on all the verticals.
We're going to have
Every
vertical content soon.
All of a sudden, you're just these two faces everywhere. Just
Yep.
you wait.
Mm-hmm. But in that, thank you everyone who's listening and watching live.
Yeah.
We do a pre-show and a post-show hang during the podcast, which doesn't get uploaded to YouTube or anything. It's just for the live audience.
Exclusive for the folks who tune in live.
So if you want to just chat with us after the podcast, that's the best time to do it.
Mhm.
But yeah, thank you for listening. Hope you have a lovely day.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.